Hello viewers, welcome to CodeForAny. Swift UI, taxi, drivers and user app previous video need to see this here the how to get here the pickup locations and drop locations and with the map kits. With calculates here the width need to get this here the latitude to longitudes, address need to get and to displaying here. Now today we need to develop here the estimated durations and estimated times need to get this here, and these times and distance to need to get this here the selected zones, the get this here the provided service and price we need to get inside the local database this data. Then after we need to calculate here the estimate minimum price and estimate maximum price we need to calculate, and to show this here the selections cars service pop-ups need to show this here. First of all we need this here the one plugins flutters, and inside we need to get this here the codes, gets here the two locations between the roads maps we need this here. That's why we need to use here the flutter plugins. Inside we need to copy here the some files and to paste this in our projects. Now first of all we need to open here these codes and flutters OMG's plugins we need to open here. Now we need to go inside the GitHubs and to need this here the iOS codes. Go here and now go inside the class functions, and we need this here the roadmap managers. Also need to need this here the road shift files need to need this here, and also another one resource files need to need this here inside the assets. We need to JSONs JSONs we need to need here for the some instructions, and to need this here the path. First of all we need to put this here the JSONs files inside our projects. Now we need to move here and to select here the taxi drivers apps and to paste this here, and look like this showing here the this JSON files. Now need to put here. Now open this here again, so need to GitHubs, and now need to go here the classes, and we need to copy here the models inside. Need to road models need to needs. Now need to develop here these files. First of all create here the model inside new files, and to give this here the name road like this creates. Now need to go inside this path locations, and we need to copy these codes, copy row files, and now need to paste here, replace with here. Now unused this kits no needs, also polylines no needs need to remove here, unused codes need to remove here, and also need to give this here the geocoders. Now we need to go inside the GitHubs, and we need to find out here the models as a geo points maps. Now need to copy this here the type styles, and now need to paste this here. Now first of all we need to fix here the needed errors, remove here unused polylines no needs this here, also need to remove here. Road folders no needs need to remove, and here only one errors road types. Also need to find out here the road types, road manager class inside availables. Now we need to go inside the classes, and now need to copy here this road managers, create here the new files, and to give this here the name road manager, and create these files and replace with this years, and to put this here this data. And also need to remove here the polylines, and this map need to remove, and also need to import here the Almo Pyres package need to need this here. Now need to go inside the projects, and also need to go inside the select here the project, add dependency inside. Now need to add here the Almo Pyres, give this here the opens here the GitHubs code, go this ports, go GitHubs, and now need to copy these URLs, and we need to put this here, and need to import here this package. No needs here the dynamics, we need to none set here, and to add this package are set here like this, imports here. Now unused codes managers inside we need to remove here. First of all unused codes, and this types road types here use here, that's why gets here the errors. Now need to fix this here the model errors. Now we need to go inside the road managers, and we need to remove here the unused codes. First of all, managers inside we need to no need this here the functions protocols inside we need to remove unused, and also no need this here the instructions directions need to remove here also, and unused variables also need to remove here. Clear roads remove like this, unused we need to remove here. One by ones we need to remove all this data non needed and to remove done, and like this we need to place this here and to use this here the class gets here the routes and also estimate distance and estimate durations we need to get here using here OpenStreetMaps API. We need to callings here. This API are the calls routings API callings with the driving types specific here the provide here the three types cars, bikes and goods available. We need to integrations here the needs here. First of all, we need to calculate here the estimate distance and estimate durations we need to get here. First of all, we need to declare here the some variable types inside our models. Now we need to go here and we need to declare here published where, and we need to set here the select zones zone model like the sets here. Another need to needs here published where, and we need to give this here the select road as a road optionals models. We need to call this here, and also another publish variables need to need this here the estimate kilometers for estimate distance est distance variables we need to declare here set here the doubles, and need to give this here value 0, and also need to estimate times in minutes, or we need to use this here the variable est duration, and we need to give this here types as a double set here 0 like this configurations are needs need to set here. Now we need to go inside the find out here the address, and we need to configure here some properties and value we need to set here, and calling this here the data. First of all, need to assign this value inside the models. Need to set here self dot select zones is equal to need to pass this here the this selected zones if available, and to give this here this value like this settings here and to configure this here. And first of all, now after need to getting here the address, we need to check here the if conditions. If self dot select pickup location, select pickup is not equal to nil, and select dot drop offs not equal to nil, like the check here the conditions, because we need to get here the routes, we need to need this here the start point to end points, 2 points are the needs, then after possible to get this here the roads routes value need to get here. First of all, need to define here the managers road manager equal to rm, and to call this here the road manager assign here like this, and now we need to call this here the functions gets roads way, and to way inside we need to put this here the value. First of all, now give this here the value as a longitudes, then after we need to set here the latitudes like this, given this here the parsing here use here inside this managers. Now self dots select pickup, and we need to give this here the longitudes optionals nots need to check this here the not nils, that's why I need to give this here the exclamatory signs, copy here this value, and now need to paste this here and to set here the latitudes. Also need to give this here the road maps, as I need to set here the bikes, and now need to handling here and to give this here the road data variables. Now need to give this here the endpoints. Now need to set. First of all, now need to copy here and to paste this here. Now we need to select here to select crop of locations, longitudes and latitudes, like the settings, and to get this here the data. After getting this data, you need to get here first of all call this here the dispatch, because these functions writes inside the backgrounds. Now needs here the foregrounds, and side need to enters to call this here the dispatch main queue. Since methods need to call this here main dot assigns, like set here. Now need to select here the self dot select road is equal to road data. We need to give this here. Then also need to print here this object. So need to show here the inside the informations. That's on to self dots. So need to write down here the select road display here. Now need to check here if let road data is equal to road data founds this value, then to get here the self dot estimate distance. Need to get this here the value road data dot distance in kilometers, like this, and self dot est durations is equal to road dot data, and to get this here the durations in convert gets here the in second. Now need to convert into the minute. That's why need to divide by 16, and now in minute, like this. Need to get this here the durations. And now we need to check here the conditions. If let's select zone equal to self dot select zones, else parts need to clear here, no data found. Oh, right. Now need to develop here the another models, and to save this here the service names as well as the service price. Need to get this here. First of all, need to making here the models, create here the new models, select here the zip files, and to give this here the name service price models, like this creates, and to develop here first of all. Now imports here the Swift UI. Now declares here the class service price models identifiable, and equalables. We need to set this here. Now need to set here the variables as a service ID is a string, where need to set here the price ID equal to string double quotes, where need to declare here the base charge string, not string. We need to convert needs here the doubles, pass this here the doubles. Same as need to another variables need to copy paste first of all, and to this here. Now need to set here the per kilometer charge variables, per minute charge, then after booking charge, then minimum pair. This is all value saved inside the local database. You needs here the proper models. That's why I need to declare here. Then after need to create here the minimum kilometers and declares here the service name. Now copy here, paste this here and give this here the color as a string and icons. Like this, we need to creating here the models. Now need to write down here the init methods and also need to declare here the equalable methods. Now need to set here the returns search dot service id equal to rhh dot service id and lhh dot price id equal to rhh dot price id. Like this returns if equalables conditions we need to put this here. Like this needs here the service price models we need to develop here. Now we need to find out here the selected zone and estimate, give this here the estimate distance and estimate kilometers. To need to get this here the another one properties we need this here estimate price mean value, give this here the double. By default need to set this here the 0, where also need to set here the estimate price max value, set here the double 0.0 like this set here. Now how can calculate this value? Need to write down here the estimate functions. Right here the functions gets est value, and now first of all need to pass this here the estimate kilometer as a doubles need to set here and estimate time set here the double values. Now first of all need to find out here the amounts of the this calculation. First of all set here the self dot page charge plus need to include here the per kilometer charge. We need to calculate per kilometer charge multiply by the estimate kilometers. Now need to calculate here the per minute charge multiply by estimate times plus apply here the booking charge. Like this need to get here the amounts. Now need to check here if self dot minimum kilometers bigger than estimate kilometers, then we need to set here the amounts as the minimum pairs. We need to apply this here because we need to minimum kilometers always give this years. That's why need to check here the conditions. If smaller than the estimate kilometers, then no needs any. If you minimum kilometer is bigger to estimate kilometers, then to amounts are the minimum pairs. Like this sets here the conditions. Now where minimum amounts we need to calculate here, that's why need to minimum price variable need to take here and to apply this here the amounts value like this sets. And now need to check here minimum pair bigger than minimum price, then we need to write down here the minimum price equal to minimum pair. Like this we need to set this here the value. Now self dots need to calculate here the estimate mean price is equal to minimum price self dot estimate price maximum is equal to need to multiply by the 30% of the maximums. This is the calculations of the estimate durations. Like this, we need to multiply 1.3 means the this is the 100% of value, and this is the value of 130. Increase this here the difference. Like this, need to calculating here the amounts for the estimate minimum price and estimate maximum price. Now need to go inside the DB helper class and need to use this here. Also need to move this class here. This common class not here the models. That's why need to move. Now we need to get this here the value of the price. First of all, need to write down here the functions and to give this here the names. Get John's wise service price list. Like the sets here. Now we need to set here the zone object is equal to pass this here the zone model, and now we need to give this here the EST kilometers pass years for the calculations, and also need this here the estimate time is equal to set this here doubles, and now need to return here the array of the service price models. Like this, need to writing here the functions. First of all, need to write down here the do catch, and now need to copy this value here and need to put this here. Now need to set here the tables as a TB service, and also need to give this here the selects here the TB service, and need this here the TB price tables also needs here, and to give this here the asterisk signs. Now need to join with the price and to select here the service ID, copy here and to paste this here. Like this, we need to set here. Also need to check here the service, and also need to put this here as a service active, and we need to set here the end conditions and to give this here the remove here the group by no needs. That's when to remove here the group, and conditions need to apply this here TB price, and to need this here the zone ID equal to pass this here the zone object dot zone ID value need to compare with this here. Now need this here the models data and to return. That's why need to use this here, and now need to give this here the service price objects like this, and need to pass this here and to calculate this here the query. Now remove this here no needs need to remove, and now need to develop here the save inside the models this data. The objects is equal to price objects is equal to need to assign here the service price models. Now need to give this here double quotes, and to first of all need to assign this here the service ID. Here use this here the joins and to two tables data gets here. That's why I need to use this here the OBSP object. Inside we need to get this here the TB service and to use this here the service ID. Like this, need to get this here the column this data. Same as now need to get here the price ID. Need to set here TB price tables need this years. Now need to convert into the doubles. Need to write down here the functions as a double. Inside we need to put this here the data, and we need to if not get then to set here the optional 0 like this value sets here. Now need to give this here the base charge, apply this here. Same as now need to copy and to reuse inside the other columns. Now put this here and change here the one by one variables. Give this here the service name, same as colors, and same as icons. Now set here icon. Now we need to set here the color columns Then after need to set this here the service name column, and need to set this here the minimum kilometers. Now need to copy paste this here one by one, changing here the all columns minimum here. Then after booking charge, then after need to minimum per minute charge, per kilometer charge. Like this you need to get this value and to pass this here the models, and also need to append here this models value like this calls. Now need to calculate here the minimum price and maximum price. Need to use this here the objects, and to get this here the estimate value. Now need to pass here the estimate kilometers and estimate times. Need to pass inside this function and calculate here the evaluations of the estimate minimum value and estimate maximum value. Need to save this inside these models like this, and to get this here. So now need to go inside the view models. Now need to go inside our view. Now we need to go inside the user home view models, and to declare here the one publisher published variables. Need to declare here. Now need to declare here the availables, where available price service price list price air past is here the service price models, and set here the blank value. Like this configurations are the need this here. Now this value how can calculates. Now need to go here and we need to find out here self dot availables self dots available service self dots available service price array is equal to, need to call this here the db helper dots share dots. Need to get this here the functions, and to pass this here the zone models. Need to call here to give this here the selected zones, and give this here the self dot estimate distance distance, and give this here the estimate durations like this past, and to get this here the available service array. Now we need to copy here this value, and we need to set this here self dot available sites and price. If no not get this zones, and to blank we need to set here no data like this set here. And now need to another two variables. We need to here the publish variables for the showing errors. Need to declare here and remove here the service list. Now gets errors but not matters. Now fix here where, and now need to get this here the show error. By default set here the false, and another publisher variables where error message set here blank like this configures here. Now need to write down here the actions events. I need to call this here the functions. We need to write here after the show, and to write here functions. Give this here the action continue. Buttons press, and to call this here first of all now we need to check here if select pickup equal to nil, then need to show here the error message. Please select pickup address, pickup locations. Please select pickup locations like the sets, and show this here the error as a true like the sets here. Same as now need to check here if select drop off, and please select here the drop off locations. Now need to check here the one conditions. If selected zone equal to nil or available self or available service price array count is empty, then also need to send here the message no provider any service in this area. Like this error message are the showing, and also need to write down here every place return functions. And now if this all is the okay, then need to call this here the showing here the available service pop-ups need to show that to pass this here the true. Like this configurations are the needs. Now need to implement inside our view. Now need to go here, and now first of all need to click events, need to set this here inside the continue buttons. Now need to convert into the buttons, and need to call this here the UVM dots actions continue. Need to set here the click events. Now first of all now need to set this here the alert dialogs. So need to configurations inside this UI. First of all need to write down here the dot alert presents is need to give this here the dollar UVM dot show errors, and contents instead need to write down here the alert. Titles need to give this here as a text block dots app name. Then after need to displaying here the message is the text value UVM dots need to set here the error message, and call this here the dismiss buttons inside and to give this here the default labels. Need to give this here the text as okay, like this set here. For these buttons like this configures here, and to configure this data, and now need to show this here the pop-ups, and to fix this here the error. First of all now need to give this here the available service price. Need to set this here's array, and also need to copy here and paste this here. Now need to give this here the service name, like this set sheets, and now need to apply this here the price dollar c object, and we need to call this here est price mean. Image now need to copy, and price max need to set like this here, and showing this here the data. Now imports here the first of all the for image HD web image Swift UI need to use this here the library, and here's web image, set here the URL home string, and C objects dots need to get this here the icons, and now need to set here the indicator, dots we need to set this here. Like this, we need to configure and to set this years. Now need to run this years canvas. Now load this here the UI, and now need to select here the pickup locations, and after select here the drop off locations. Now get this here the API data callings. Need to get here inside. Need this here the durations and distance. Need to get this here, and also need to get this here the road path. We need to get here inside this iOS 15 minimum target inside. Not possible to Swift UI plugins directly. Need to explain in details, but later now not explain this drawing here the roads, because this direct this map kit inside not possible. But we need to convert here the, because we need to set here the minimum targets as a 15s. We need to set here the minimum 15, so we need this here the minimum 17.0 is the need here the minimum targets. If that set, then to possible to here the draw here the map polylines need to possible shares. But we need to explain in detail how can possible inside the use this here the UI kits, and to import here the UI representations inside the maps, and to drawing here the path, but we need to letters. Now here the matters, first of all need to only select here the pickup locations. Now need to check here the conditions, please select here the drop off locations. Now need to select here the drop off locations, and we need to get this here the estimation value, like this getting here the value, and then after clicking here the continues and opening this here the minimum and maximum value like this show, but we need to displaying here the two floatings value. How can fix this? Need to go inside the overview, and now need to set here the specifications. Need to set here set here. Same as now need to copy and need to paste this here. Set. Now again, so need to select here the drop off locations, and need to get this here the data, and click on continue, like showing here the value of the select price. Same as now need to check here the second zones. Need to inside draw inside the USA. Now need to check here the outsides. Maybe set here the minimize these functions. Click events inside. Need to set here the poll. Get into the button, and need to set here UVM dot cursor like this. Now first of all need to check this here the outside of the safe area, zone area. Click here the outside of zone, this pickup, and drop inside the zones. And now to call this here but not found here the data that service is any not provide any service in this area, like this showing here the alerts. Now need to change here the pickup here set inside the zones, and now need to show this here the service price and this value. Now need to check here like this the data. If you like this video, please give the thumbs up. If you're new user, so please subscribe my channels and press the notification bell icon. You can get every new video notifications and awesome content. If you have any questions, so please write down the comment sections. I will help you and sort out your issue. Everyone have a nice day. Good.